Hello students, myself Kalpana Singh, and today again I am taking the bio subject, and as I am your PGT bio, and today I am taking the topic transportation in humans, that is from class 10. This is actually the main topic, one of the 5 main topics of the first chapter of the class 10th biology, that is the life processes. And the transportation in humans means what? How the things, the waste product or the important things whatsoever in a body, how it transport or how it moves. Transportation means the movement. Like hormones we have, and food we have in the forms of proteins, fats, carbohydrate, and the other things, waste also, the gases, the oxygen we intake and the carbon dioxide that we have to exhale, how it all travels inside our body. That is under the topic transportation in humans. It is also called circulatory system. Transportation in the animals also called the circulatory system in the animals or the humans. Now in humans, 2 types of the circulatory systems are there. Number 1, the blood circulatory system, and another one is the lymphatic circulatory system. Main is the blood circulatory system because it covers each and every cell. From the blood, everything moves or travels or transport to each and every cell of the body, whereas the lymphatic circulatory system has its limitations. It is transported to a particular area and it has a very particular function also. But whereas compared to the lymphatic system, blood circulatory system is, yes, of course, the main, and it covers all the functions and it has important functions for the body. So now we comes to the blood circulatory system. Blood circulatory system, it consists of, or we can say it is of 3 types, carry 3 main things. First is the blood, second vessels, and the third important heart. So basically today we will discuss about these 3 topics in the main topic, blood circulatory system. Now blood, we know blood is formed by the 2 main parts. One is the plasma and another is the blood cell. Plasma, that is we can say makes the fluid, and which covers 55 to 60% of the blood content. And in the plasma, what is mainly present, that is water and the protein. Other things are also there, the ions and so many things are there, but main thing water and protein. These 2 things makes plasma and make the 55 to 60% of the total blood. Now next part is blood cells. Blood cells is divided into 3 types of blood cells we have. RBC, that is red blood cells, WBC, white blood cells, and the platelet. Now red blood cells, very important. It has a very specific function. It carries the gases. It helps in respiration, and it carries actually oxygen to each and every cell. Oxygen, when hemoglobin that is present in the RBC, that provide the red color to the blood, when oxygen combines with the hemoglobin, it makes oxyhemoglobin, and then it travels to each and every cell of the body through the RBC. RBC, one more specific feature of the RBC is that this is the only cell present in the human that is without nucleus. Isn't it amazing? All the cells we studied till now, we know that the main organelle present in the cell that controls all the activity of the cell is the nucleus, and RBC is the only cell in the human that is without nucleus. Now next is WBC. WBC is white blood cells, and it again has a main specific function. White blood cell, it provides immunity to the body. Immunity means the internal strength that makes a person to fight against the invaders or the infectious microbes. So very important, WBC provide the immunity or strength or the power to the body to fight against the infections. Now third, platelets, very important. Platelet helps in the blood clotting. When we injured or we get any wound, blood starting oozing out, and if it will not stop on time, then what happen? We can face the problem of the blood loss. So very important, so platelet helps in clotting the blood, in stopping the blood. and make a scum over the wound that protect it from the microbes, invaders that infect the body, plus it stops the flow of the blood. So very important, blood cell, RBC, WBC and platelet. Now, this is the first part that makes the blood circulatory system. Another important part is the vessel. What is vessel actually? What is the term vessel means? In simple word, we can say vessel means pipes. Pipes through which this blood that consists of plasma and the blood cells flow inside this pipe. See, we humans have a very proper network of the blood system, circulatory system, and through this network of the pipes, it reaches each and every cell of the body. Now again, vessels or the pipes, again 3 types of the vessels are there. Number 1, arteries. Arteries are the broadest pipe and thickest pipe. Why? Because it has to carry a lot of blood with good pressure. So it is the broad pipe. And what is the specificity of the arteries? It always carry oxygenated blood, means blood having oxygen. That means it starts from the heart and reaches to each and every body organ. And then next is veins. Veins in comparison to arteries are thin, and they have a circumference less than the arteries, and it is again specific as it carries the deoxygenated blood. So arteries always carries oxygenated blood and the veins always carry the deoxygenated blood. That means where carbon dioxide is there in the blood instead of oxygen. That means the organs, when it carry or when it gets the oxygen, and in return they just give the carbon dioxide to the pipes that finally reaches to the lung, and through the lungs it gets exhaled out. So veins carry deoxygenated blood. Now that starts from the organ and reaches up to the heart and then finally to the lungs. Now third is the capillary, very minute pipes or vessels are there, that is actually connects arteries to the vein. Actually capillaries are the changing sites, you know, where it is inside the organ. From internally it connects the arteries to the veins. Arteries when leave the oxygen in the organ of the the cells of the organ, and it is consumed in the organ, then in return when carbon dioxide is there, that has to be carried out by the blood. Then it is, you know, this capillaries connect the arteries to the veins internally in the organ, and through this capillary and then finally to the veins, deoxygenated blood is carrying out from the organs. So this is all about the vessels, second important part of the blood circulatory system of humans. Now the third is, that is definitely heart. Now for the heart, it is a very important section that covers so many questions as per the board examination, and for that we will discuss heart through a diagram that will I'll just make here. Okay, now we'll discuss about the functions of the blood, very important. The first function, transport oxygen from lungs to tissue. As I have told you earlier also, the main function of the blood, that it helps in the transportation of oxygen from lungs to the tissues of the different body organ. And who will help, which part of the blood actually help in the transportation of oxygen? That is RBC, red blood cells. Next point, transportation of carbon dioxide from the tissue back to the lungs. Then again it is actually RBC that helps in carrying out the deoxygenated blood from the organ to the, first to the heart and then finally heart to the lungs. Third point, transport of excretory material, that is from the kidney and other organs to the to the tissues for the excretion. Next is the transport of hormone, that is secreted hormones, the chemicals that is secreted from the endocrine gland, that is again transported to the different target organs through the blood only. Next, helps in the clotting. And who is responsible for the blood clotting? Of course, the platelets of the blood cell helps in the clotting of the blood. That is again an important function of the blood. Next is the maintains the body temperature. Blood is responsible for maintaining the internal body temperature to a specific point, to a particular constant degree temperature. Now next is the last, provide immunity. And who is responsible for providing immunity? Yes, we have discussed, that is the WBC, white blood cell. So these are the important functions performed by the blood. And here you can see it covers all the activities, metabolic activities, and the transportation of each and every important thing carried out by the blood. So in short, we can say blood is responsible for carrying out all the important things, the waste and the other things that is carried or transported through the blood. Now after that, here is the diagram that shows, actually this is heart. In a linear description, yeah, it is very easy to understand about the heart. Now, we all know that heart has 4 chambers, right? Now, in the 4 chambers, you can see the first 2 chambers, upper 2 chambers are called atrium, and because of the presence of the middle septum, it will become left atrium and the right atrium. Below atrium is the ventricles. Well, ventricle again, below the left atrium, left ventricle is there. Below the right atrium, it is right ventricle. Now one passage is there, and through which first I'll show you how it works. The blood comes from the atrium, left atrium, to the left ventricle through this passage, and this is actually the bicuspid wall. What is it? Bicuspid wall. And bicuspid wall helps in the to stop the backflow of the blood. And this one again, right atrium, from right atrium blood comes to the right ventricle. Again, this valve is called tricuspid valve. Function is same. It also helps in the stopping the backflow of the blood. So this is lung, right? Lungs say lungs are responsible for giving the oxygen. When the blood carry oxygen, then oxygenated blood enters the left atrium, right? And the vessel or through which the oxygenated blood enters the left atrium, that is called the pulmonary vein. Remember, pulmonary vein is the only vein in the body that carries the oxygenated blood. Rest of the veins are responsible for carrying the deoxygenated blood. I have told you earlier also, veins are responsible for carrying out the deoxygenated blood. So, but pulmonary vein is the only vein that carries the oxygenated blood. This is very important to remember. Now when the oxygenated blood enters the left atrium, then it comes to the left ventricle through the bicuspid wall, and through the left ventricle it enters through the body organ. It may be any organ, maybe the kidney, maybe the liver, maybe the stomach, maybe the eye, nose, head, whatever. Okay? When it enters the body organ, it leaves oxygen now here, and in turn it carry the deoxygenated blood, it carry carbon dioxide. To make it clear, I make it the journey of the blood up to the body organ with the red chalk, and then rest it with the blue. Blue means it shows that it carries deoxygenated blood. And from here, vein started. Here it is artery. Now in the veins, through the vena cava, this is the only vena cava that through which the right atrium, the deoxygenated blood enters. Through the right atrium, it really reaches the right ventricle, and from right ventricle, it reaches finally to the lungs. And lungs carry the deoxygenated blood through the pulmonary artery. But I told you artery is responsible for carry out oxygenated blood. But again, pulmonary artery is the only artery that is responsible for carrying out the deoxygenated blood. So this is how our heart functions, doing the pumping of the oxygenated blood and the deoxygenated blood. And because through this diagram you understand that blood enters twice in the heart. First, in the first round, it from the lungs it reaches the left atrium to the left ventricle and then leaves the heart, right? First generally stop here. Now next again it enters through the right atrium, then to the left ventricle, then it finally comes out again, leave the heart and reaches the lungs. Because the blood enters twice in the heart, that is why it is also called the double circulatory system. So this is all about the blood circulatory system in the humans, very important, and so many questions has been asked. I've told you earlier also. So this is how we cover the blood circulatory system. Second part of it, the lymphatic system, as I've told you, it again 3 parts are there. Lymph is there, lymphatic vessel or lymph vessel is there, and the lymphatic nodes are there. Lymph is again a fluid that is present in the body, and it, like WBC, it also provides immunity to the body. And lymph vessels are the vessels through which the lymph or this fluid moves in the body, but to a particular area. And the lymph nodes are the nodes that is responsible for creating the arrangement of the lymph vessels. So this is how we discuss the transportation in human, and that's it for today. Thank you, class.